Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to tell you guys about something that I've just learned, which is called a reverse market crash. So this reverse market crash is not as magical or crazy as it sounds. In fact, there's an explanation and it's just a trick in the economic trade world. So I hope you could give me a few minutes of your attention, and I'm going to break it down into 5 key points for you. And now to my first point, which is, what is a reverse market crash? So I don't know if any of you have heard of this before, but I'm assuming no, that's why you're present in this video. So a reverse market crash is basically like when stocks or bitcoins, anything of the sideline from the US dollars, suddenly increase in value by a lot. And then the rich knows about it, so the rich gets richer and the poor get poorer. The poor people doesn't know about it, don't know why it booms up, but the rich people do, and they buy it, they got richer. So when this happens, there is no middle point. It's either you get richer or you get poorer. And the middle class is not categorized as the rich, which is very unfortunate, and that's why we should know about this. So I recently heard about this from several people, and one of it was Patrick Bet-David as well. So this is not actually a new thing. This reverse market crash is just a new term created by Patrick Bet-David for the other term, which is the actual economic term to this thing, which is called a melt up. And now to my second point, which is global examples of a meltdown. So I'm going to make this point very short because I'm just going to give you a few examples of countries that have experienced a meltdown, or you can call it the reverse market crash. The few countries that have experienced this in real life is Zimbabwe, Argentina, Turkey, and Iran. So these are a few countries, but of course there's a few more. Comparing to the US is doing a bit better in stabilizing the stock market and the value of their currency, which is because they are also the reserve currency, which also makes them slightly more stable for now. And now to my third point, which is economic factors behind the scenes. So what are the signs that would show if there would to be a reverse market crash? What are the clues that you could potentially get? So there's a few things that could happen. They could all happen at the same time, or they could all happen by themselves. But it could potentially lead to this meltdown. So the first one is quantitative easing. Basically when they print a lot of money. Second one is when there's inflation and negative effects of negative real interest rates. These three things would potentially cause a meltdown. Quantitative easing, inflation, negative real interest rates. So I'm going to explain to you why these happens later, but then right now these are the few things that would cause a meltdown to happen. And also these are all negative effects to the dollar and your money, because if your money is devaluing, why not just transfer to somewhere else? And that's basically why the other assets increase in value. And these are the reason why they push the people away. So inflation basically push people away to put their money in other assets, and that's the cause of a reverse market crash. And now to my fourth point, which is US economy concerns and the dollar dilemma. So there's actually a lot of people that are looking for a different alternative, like an asset to hold right now. Basically, there could be a meltdown or a reverse market crash in front of us, ahead of us. Or a lot of people would say that we are already in one, which is also possible as well, because you will see a lot of people around you buying stocks, buying assets, Bitcoin, gold, whatever. But as long as they're trying to preserve or earn their money by putting their money in a different asset rather than dollars and the bank, it means that there could be a melt up ahead of us. You see, there's a lot of countries that has followed this trend of the US and stacking up a lot of debts, even though they do not play in the same rules as the US. And because of this, the traditional fiat currency has become not very trendy anymore. And people just look at their own currency and go, yeah, I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose assets. I'm going to choose stocks. I'm going to choose the companies that are doing well. So my money will not devalue in your bad currency. Okay, I'm not trying to aim any currency right now. I'm just saying that now that they are all in debts and the fiat currency are all dropping in value, they're not going to want to use that anymore. In fact, they're going to want to use the stock markets and so on. And that's also what's going on right now that could potentially put us, or we are already in one, of a reverse market crash. And now to my fifth and last point, which is the physiology of the market and the Bitcoin's hype. So this is the interesting part. Have you ever noticed how the stock market kind of feels like it has a crystal ball? Whoa, the stock market went up, and then economy sometimes get worse, sometimes get better, but then it's like, huh? What? How did the stock market suddenly fly up like that? Does it have a prediction into the future? Yes, that's actually very precise. The stock market basically lives in the future, but based on speculation of the people. So the people will judge based on the economy or the interest rates to buy their stocks. And if they buy stocks, basically means that they think that the economy is not going to do well, or they think that that company is going to do great, and then they will be able to earn money or preserve their money. Don't you ever realize people like Jerome Powell, which is the head of the Fed, can just make a stock market just go like crazy and fly around like a roller coaster with just his words? That's because his words are very confidential to the people's minds. When people think, oh, I think what he said is going to make the interest rates go up, for example, or what he said is going to affect this part of the economy, they are going to buy stocks or they are going to sell stocks. And this is a huge factor to why there is a meltdown. And therefore, you should really just watch out for what Jerome Powell said, which is basically what the Fed do. And you will also get a better grasp of what's going to happen in the future of the stock market. Because whatever you think is like, well, I think it's going to crash. I mean, yeah, I think that maybe the dollars are not going to do well. The economy is not going to do well. Or I think this company is going to do well, even though the odds are saying it's not. And then you will see many people also buying or selling according to what you think. And then you realize, oh yeah, I got a better grasp of this because, you know, you are now basically living in the same future that many people are trying to speculate about. And a lot of people that buy Bitcoin, you know, basically the cool kids, you know, I don't know, I like to call the people that buy Bitcoin the cool kids. Often the community right now would say that there is something called the hyper Bitcoinization coming up, which is when a Bitcoin skyrockets in value. While they think that this is happening, yes, reverse market crash. And also because they think that the dollars are devaluing. And when people think that dollars are devaluing, they don't want the dollars, they go for something else. And other than the traditional fiat currency, another currency that is now widely used and very popular will be Bitcoin. So they would buy Bitcoin, and a lot of people make crazy speculations about how Bitcoin could get to $1 million by next year. I'm not saying it could not be. I'm just saying I did not do enough research on Bitcoin specifically to know about that. But these are the causes of a reverse market crash, aka a melt up. So in conclusion, the economic acrobatic is a very complex dance. It's very hard to keep up with. It could be because of the interest rates. It could be because of job shifts. It could be maybe just generally because of the economy doing bad or good. And then at some point you will miscount or miscalculate or speculate some things that will cause you to lead off the track that the whole general perspective would be on. Like sometimes you think that this company is gonna do good, but it doesn't because you miscalculate something. And then actually, like I said, the stock market lives in the future, also meaning that it is also feeding off human emotions. Human think that it do good, they buy. Human think that it do bad, they don't buy. So as long as your emotions are not aligned with the majority of the people, no matter if it's Bitcoin or stocks, they both apply, you might lose money as well. So yeah, it's very complex and it's very hard to understand, but today I just want to talk about what melt up is because I've just learned about it, or you could call it a reverse market crash. And I'm very happy to share this with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I hope you learned something out of it. I hope you like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.